She is the keeper of the keys, the guardian of liminal spaces, the torchbearer that lights the way, the navigator of the crossroads, the protector of seers, healers, herbalists, doulas. She awakens us and supports us during times of profound integration. I'm talking about Hecate. Why am I bringing up Hecate? Well, it's new moon. New moon in Taurus. New moon arrived in at the last seconds of 25 degrees Taurus. A chariot coming forward to guide us on a certain journey. And that journey is the hero's journey. The hero's journey of moving from a place of the wounded self to a true recognition of the power that we hold. And as that new moon moved into 26 degrees Taurus, it formed nearly a 90-degree square with the asteroid Hecate that was hanging out in the middle degrees of Aquarius, where currently Pluto resides. And this is potent because the underworld is one of Hecate's domains. Truly, she has dominion over heaven, earth, and the underworld. And she also guards the gateways at each of those places of transition. She provides the keys that allow us to open up to other realms, other dimensions of experience, also places within our psyche that needs to be lit up to come into a true sense of clarity, acuity, discernment. Now, a lot of people have a misunderstanding about Hecate, largely because of the rebranding that she experienced in the Middle Ages. She got labeled a dark goddess who was associated with sorcery and curses and all things sinister and to be avoided. But truly, that's not her origin at all. It was just that she was too iconographic for those who ran counterculture to the order that was trying to be established. And so very auspicious energy, I think, coming forward, especially with Pluto in Aquarius, that's also stirring up that same kind of spirit. Now, in terms of this new moon, there weren't really a lot of major aspects, save for Venus sextile Mars, and also the fixed star Algol in the mix. Algol is known as the ghoul, and usually when Algol shows up on the scene, people have a less than favorable reception to the energy because it can bring almost like a warring energy, conflict. There can be aggression and misfortune and injury and everything that represents more of the underbelly of life. Also, those things that do haunt us or go bump in the night, those things that do stir up fear or suspicion or dissension. But in this case, with the influence of Venus and the moon and Mercury, and how Mars has this positive aspect to Venus with this new moon, it actually gives us the ability to pull off what may seem impossible, to bring something of beauty forward out of what was broken, to find a source of strength out of what at one point was considered a liability, a weakness, or something that we felt we needed to cloak or keep hidden. You see, Hecate guides Persephone down into Hades when she makes that descent into the underworld. She goes before her bearing the torch. So she feels safe as she starts to enter these deep, unknown spaces within herself, as she faces off with certain aspects of herself and comes into her own recognition of the empowerment that is already with her, what she already holds, but maybe has become buried under much that has been projected upon her by society, by her own upbringing, by her own point of understanding. But when it comes time for Persephone to rise and move into the expansion of that Venusian energy, when all things grow and come to fruition in the spring, Hecate goes after Persephone with the torch there to light the way so the shadows can fall behind her and she can stay focused on the light. So it's interesting to me, how Hecate has been known as this dark goddess. And it's true that she is a guardian over the dark moon. She is a guardian of the night. But her role is to help us find the light within those spaces. So she really holds a sense of balance. She is that force in between the dark and the light that holds things in balance, that provides keys of understanding that are the source of our freedom. And she is acting like that Hierophant at this time as that intermediary that grants us the keys, that shows us we have the power to activate our dreams. We have the power to move beyond our knee-jerk reactions, to have some immediate sense of safety or have it all figured out, have it all nailed down, and instead giving us, ooh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to take that. Yes, giving us the courage to take the action to transform, to take the action necessary to move into the mutable quality, to radically shift onto a different path, not based upon what we're being told to do or necessarily what will provide some sense of security for us. Quite the opposite will be the path that shows us a whole new dimension of ourselves, maybe even a path that uncovers some aspect of our identity that we weren't even aware of, something that may have others feel they don't recognize us anymore, and yet it's us coming more authentically into who we truly are. This is when our future can become something much different than we thought it could be, through having the courage to go deeper into our psyche, to take up more psychic territory and explore the urges that call us to shed an old way of viewing ourselves, to see something about us from a vantage point of what's been outgrown. Metamorphosis is happening here. This is when we're taking action. Quickening is occurring. Things are starting to unfurl. There's opening into this expansion and this growth. And we know for the growth needs the light. It needs the light. The flower can't come to bloom without the light. And so there's this need to retrieve every last bit of that light that could only be found in the dark, because that's what's allowed the seed of potential to germinate in you now. Something has to come to a full state of completion. And this energy was coming in on Taurus's solar return quest read too. There's an action that needs to be taken to transform something here. And Hecate wants to give us that key so we can find strength in what was broken, so we can find the gift in what came undone, something that makes radical shift possible in our life, something that comes as a catalyst to really stir us up, awaken us to what truly is in our hands right now. There's something you already hold. It is your treasure, but you don't see it yet. And this is what needs to be recognized and revealed. This is what's being introduced here with the new moon energy coming in with Pluto. The bloom is already in the dark. It may seem just a seed, but truly, the bloom is already there. So there's this seed that you need to retrieve, to bring forward with you. And there needs to be clarity about this. It's essential for there to be clarity around this action. Scorpio territory coming through here. So it's so essential that we take this seed of potential with us through this particular gateway of transformation. And I want to see what this is, because this came out all together. Yes, Yes, see, patience, patience. There's something that needs to be seen before moving forward here. Patience is required. There's one last key that must be retrieved. There's this need to have recognition of what you already hold. It comes in with 11:44 on the clock, with the energies of Saturn and Venus, you see. There's the possibility of pulling something beautiful out of what may have been a real mean and heavy experience when Pluto was in Capricorn. Saturn, Pluto's ruler, is currently in Aries, hanging out there with Neptune, making it possible to achieve dreams, to activate our dreams. And it's interesting too, because initially Hecate was hanging out in Capricorn, and then it made that transition at that perfect time to go square with the moon. And so there's something about that too. That was at 26 degrees Taurus. I think at 26, it's like the chariot, the vehicle to move forward in this lunar cycle, does require finding that seed of strength that rests in what was broken in the past. That is the very thing that allows you to come into a full recognition of what you hold. There's some treasure you already hold, but it's something that's a little buried in your psyche here. It was 13:13 on the clock, you see. It's that completion of the death, so you can move into the rebirth. It's understanding that there's always a seed of potential in what has come to a close. And so this is what's being highlighted here. There is protection here with dragon's blood. There's also the ability to mend something where there was wounding. You know, dragon's blood is often used in that way, where there's some kind of release of life blood through a wound. You can use dragon's blood. It's a resin. You can use dragon's blood to staunch that release of vitality. It can help mend what's been wounded. You know, you think of that Centaurian energy, and it is Chiron, Aries and Chiron right now. You see, it's this piece of empowerment that actually is the direct result of what wounded you. It's what wounded you and had you thrown back upon yourself, where you had to reflect on yourself, understand yourself, maybe from a point of feeling wounded, maybe at one point feeling even victimized. That is actually what gives you the strength to rise up into your hero arc. and to make a dream possible that never would have been possible before. And this is so key. There's some real key piece of information that's needed here. And you need to be patient as you sit in these final stages. You may want it all to come through right now, but there's one thing that needs to be retrieved here before this journey begins. And there's some recognition of it coming in with that full moon, with that full moon, that blue moon in Sagittarius on the 31st. It shows you the beauty. It shows you the beauty that came through that mean and heavy territory. It has you looking at something in a much different way. It opens you up to a new vision of what's possible. Also, a new sense of community. You see, we got that energy of Lilith there hanging out with Pluto as well. Highly independent energy. An energy that has been exiled, you know? There's all of these kind of themes running through. Being cast aside, being misunderstood, having a certain lore woven around you that is really the antithesis of what you hold. Something about you was cast into the dark, and it's actually the very thing within you that bears the light. This is what needs to be discovered because it is the source of empowerment. It moves you in a position of leadership as you make it through the initiatory gateway of this lunar cycle. It is the thing that transforms you in the waterway, stirs up the alchemist in you, brings about divine justice, balance in your life, has you catching a ride on the tail of that star that takes you all the way up to your north node. You see, it's the awakening energy of Hecate, shaking you up, waking you up, acting as a catalyst, that you are not here to follow. You are here to lead, and you are fit to lead as a direct result of the strength of you navigating what brought you to your knees in the past. It is your blessing that pours into the collective. It's really powerful energy. So out of something that was an injustice in the past, balance is found. There's something that unifies here in a really beautiful way. And it really shows you that you're not where you were. It's almost like there's a little bit of spellbinding here, but it's coming from something that still remains unconscious that needs to be lit up. And this is the key that you're going to get. Some hint of this is coming in the next 72 hours. I want to do a real kind of simple read this week on the energy. And I think I want to look at it more from a perspective of keys that tap the potential of each of the elementals here. So we can navigate this territory in a very clear, direct way, bringing forward the light of understanding that helps us find the way through. We do really have an opportunity to create a sense of unification here in what has felt very separate, in what's felt polarized or divided or even at odds within ourselves, with others, with our path, a purpose. And so I want to look at it through this lens and see what are these keys that we need to retrieve. What is the key we need to retrieve since it is an Earth new moon? Let's look at the north. Let's look at Earth elemental first. What is the key we need to open up the gateway of transformation in the north? What must we see clearly? What do we need to see clearly that we do not currently see? Bottom of the deck, it's something about something you already successfully navigated, coming in with Tulsi, wealth, and 19, the energy of the sun. It's recognition that the sun is already here. The sun has already risen in your life. The dawn is here. But there's something that you're still seeing from more of a vantage point of your time in the dissension phase of navigating through the heavy underworld stuff, where you were really going through this deep process of psychic integration. You may feel like there's something that's missing in the process. It's not missing at all. You actually already hold this wealth. Something's already been successfully navigated. Do expect confirmation to come in relation to this. Signs, synchronicities letting you know. Direct communication of blessings that are on their way. You will likely experience something shifting in your reality that lets you know that a certain pattern of lack has been disrupted here, that you are not lacking anymore. You are not exiled anymore. You're being welcomed here. You're being welcomed into the dawn. You're being welcomed into a new phase of your life, a new phase that reflects what has been integrated here through all of this deep healing work you've done. You don't see it yet, but you will. You will see it. This is what must be understood, that you've already successfully navigated something. You are not lacking here. You hold all the treasure within you right now. There's something you've already retrieved, but you're not recognizing it. You're downplaying it, or you're distracted by the phantoms of the past, and this is clouding the sense of judgment. So there needs to be recognition of this light that you hold within you. This light that ironically was sourced during your time of navigating through the dark. It's inevitable with any initiatory process. You always move into the dark territory of the unknown, where you're not quite sure where you're going or how things are going to turn out. But there's something that's going to be revealed to you. And I feel like it happens in a very physical way, because we're looking at earth elemental. So this is a sign coming in that you're actually in a very different position than you were before. But it's like you've been living out of that place of lack. You've been living out of a place of something's still missing when it's not. It's actually already here. And so I feel like there's some tangible confirmation coming through in your day-to-day life. There's something that's freed up here that shows you that, no, there's a new sense of stability here. You actually have firm footing moving forward. You actually already hold the treasure you seek. There's something that's already grounded in your being here. And it's your recognition that is the key that activates it, so it can gain momentum in your life and become everything it wants to be. Look at that. Do you see? There's Chiron right there. There's a blessing coming in from your time healing the deepest wound. It comes in with that Sagittarius full moon. Those seeds that you scattered upon the wind are coming to fruition. They are your vehicle of transformation that's carrying you forward. It is because of your resilience of what you went through that you have the strength to lead and spiral this into creation. Beautiful energy. Wounded healer, it's time to rise into your hero arc, into your empowerment. You are transforming what limited you in the past. You are transforming a version of you that was not the true you at all, but was who you were told you are. You are seeing yourself accurately right now. And that's because of what's been lit up for you here by Hecate, showing you something you couldn't see before. She's shining a light on the way up ahead So you understand there's no shadows coming forward with you here. You've made everything that was in the shadowy realm conscious. And now you're going to experience the resilience of these dreams that you seeded during that time when you were resting in the dark. See, it's beautiful. Hecate. She has hounds that come with her, that act as protectors as you're navigating the underworld territory. You see, and now everything, all the medicines that were gathered during that time are being released as you rise to the top of the mountain there, and you get a different view as you make your ascent. Those seeds, everything that was germinating there during your time of teaching, learning, integrating in that heavy territory, it's what opens your path now. You're going to recognize as this gate opens up to you that leads you down this road of transformation and everything that's coming in now, that path, the thing that was the source of your wounding, was your greatest teacher. It brings forward these gifts in you, and it's what's aligning you to your path of ascension now, that's going to give you a much different view than you've had up to this point. This is what you need to see. You have successfully integrated a teaching that came through your wound. And it's this teaching and the empowerment it brings that is your vehicle forward. And it is currently already starting to weave your dreams into material reality. And there is a sign of this coming in, a tangible sign of this coming in as a confirmation for you. You're going to have a hint that your dream is starting to come into fruition. It's going to be a real sign of a turning point for you over the next 72 hours. And so this does require your mindfulness. This means that you have to be open to seeing something different, signs of light up ahead. Beauty, fleeting beauty, right? Found in those liminal spaces. That flight of the butterfly. That moment of breaking through something that helped one contain, and that moment of flight, first taking flight, experiencing that perfection of the process. It's something really to be treasured there. And in some way, metaphorically, you're getting your wings through direct recognition that, wow, my life is starting to really change. There's doors opening up for me here. I learned something so valuable. I wouldn't even be able to walk through that door if I hadn't learned that. So there's some recognition of the value, the wealth of a lesson that was learned, of an aspect of yourself that you finally recognize, of a power you now hold through the direct result of what wounded you. It caused you to rise up into that power you hold within yourself to transform. And that's what's lining up some big blessing that's coming in here. Direct result of your work on the path. Okay, let's see what path this is that's opening now. We're going to look at the direction of the east, the air, that initiatory energy of manifestation. What is this path that's opening now? We know that what ultimately manifests, these first signs of light that you're seeing here over the next 72 hours will ultimately manifest into your path of purpose. It will be your North Node activation that comes in here. But let's see, what is this initial inspiration? So it looks like there's some gateway that's opening up here. You're being freed from the crossroads and you're starting to make your ascent. What is the path that is opening up here in this lunar cycle? Look at that. Moving into the radiance. Isn't that beautiful? Here comes the sun, you see? The house you made a home in before, you've outgrown that. this is really being transformed by the fire, you see? And I think of the house that's your home in terms of the sun. I think of that first house, okay? So the first house is that energy of the self, how you see yourself and what you sort of show the world about who you are, how you show up in the world. The outer presentation, it's what's seen in the light of day. And there's something here. Have a look at your first house in your chart and see what you got going on there, because there's something that's gone through a radical transformation here. How you're showing up in this next cycle is like night and day. You're seen very differently. You see yourself differently. You're bringing parts of yourself forward that nobody's ever seen before. So it is a very activating kind of catalytic sort of experience here. But it is this thing that is bringing about the energy of the cauldron of Dagda. It is the thing that's providing the growth, the nourishment for what is healing, for what is transforming here. And with the stag energy leading the charge, this is what carries us up to that north node that is our destiny that was transformed out of the rough hand of fate. You see, you have to have the challenge. It's the challenge that awakens you to the power you hold to transform, to be the alchemist, to pull a dream out of the void, to make the impossible possible. Where your fears may have led in the past, now they're trailing behind you. You have too much light building behind you as Hecate helps you, blazing that torch behind you to light up the way. All you see is the radiance coming in here. And there's something you're celebrating here as you're racing forward. And those fears fall behind you. And you just get to embrace the fertility of this moment and what it's bringing into view. There's also a new radiance about you. There's this light that's building around you. You may start to recognize it in your appearance. You may notice it in your experiences. Everything's taking on a new kind of radiance around you. A new kind of light is coming into your relationships, into your day-to-day experiences, into your heart. Something's really shifting here. And I mean, they do say that the wound is how the light gets through. So a path of radiance is coming through for you. Something that is building the light in your life. It does require you move into action. Move into action. Follow the light. Go to the light. Keep following the light. Let those shadows, let the fears fall behind you. Take the risk to head into the unexplored territory, because it has nothing but radiance to reveal to you. And yes, see, it's beautiful. What you don't see, but you will. It's going to come through when we arrive at that Sagittarian full moon. You see, Hecate also has Owl that acts as a guardian. Owl has been coming in recently. Intermediary energy, psychopomp energy coming through with Owl here. See, this is a portal of transformation we're journeying through right now. There's the recognition that the wheel has turned. You have experienced psychic healing here, where something was at one point disconnected. There's something here that has been mended. There's a psychic link within your own consciousness that's also been reestablished here, where there could have been somewhat of a samskara there before, like a bit of a psychic scar, something that kept taking you back to a certain time when you were journeying through mean and heavy territory. There's something here that has been fully integrated, and so now it's opening up new potential. It's awakening the empowerment. And you see there is that Venusian energy on the rise all the way to the North Star. Very dreamy energy coming in with this new moon. Neptunian energy. The water merges with the fire that's in the first house of Aries here. So again, especially with Chiron so forward at this time, and the energy of Aries really leading that charge and fire forward, do look at what's going on in your first house and where you have Aries placements, because this is really letting you know the initiatory gateway you're stepping through, what you're rising up out of, the strength it gives you, also what it's transforming in your life and giving some momentum moving forward. There's a new journey opening up here, and it's fortunate, okay? There's something that's the direct result of what's been healed here. And this is the path that's opening up for you. It's the path of ascension and the recognition of a dream on the other side of what had to be sacrificed or released or acknowledged that at one point may have been quite painful, was the source of your wounding. Patience. Patience as you go through this last bit here. The magic you retrieve along the way and what it reveals to you that you may not see right now will be such a moment of celebration, transformation, also coming together in community. Very beautiful energy here. See, this is what's in process right now. It's all of the different characters that are meant to come onto this path with you. All of these characters that are going to be teachers for you, and you will be a teacher for them. Each taking your lead in your own ways are starting to find their way to this path as this healing is being experienced. It just takes a little bit more time for this balance to be established, but this is the path that's opening. It's a path that builds the light in our life. It brings us together with new community. It's a path of healing that awakens within us what we already hold, and it activates our ascension up to that north node. Really beautiful portal of transformation. Okay, so let's get clear about what needs to be shed, because it looks like there's still one final veil that needs to fall away here. And that's why we need this patience, because there's still something that we need to bring forward with us from that time, journeying through the underworld as we prepare to rise up here, integrating all that was learned during that time, and really discovering the treasure that was mined there. What must be shed? What is that final thing that needs to be shed to the south? The energy of the fire. What needs to be shed to the south? Now see, what makes sense to me with this is that when we look at the fire energy, it is going to be a fire full moon, that blue moon. So full moons are a time of culmination, but they're also a time of release. So I feel like this is something that we need to work to really let go of, leave in the underworld to be earthed there as we prepare to enter this new cycle. It's something that needs to be reduced to ash, because it's what provides the fertilization of the new growth of that seed you carry forward with you. It's like, don't let that, don't let that seed of potential get lost to that fire transformation, Those pearls of Persephone, right? You're meant to take them forward with you, not lose them. So there is a certain pearl, a seed of wisdom here, a seed of potential that you need to take forward. And I do think that's going to be illuminated for you here. It's going to get you properly aligned. It does set something in motion here with a manifestation, something you set on the winds quite a while ago. Something beautiful comes through what was broken. Something that is too resilient. There's like a resilient dream here, a resilient calling that's breaking through the ground of your being as you surface here. But something needs to be shed and left in the underworld. So let's see what this is. Bottom of the deck. Ooh, look at this. Magician. Hecate is also represented by the wheel. A journey begins. Yes, one journey has come to a close. A new journey begins. It's the awakening of blessings. So I also feel like it's just respecting the closing of one journey and the opening of a new road. This could have even been something that at one point you wanted to go on a journey with. You wanted to bring something to culmination, but it was cut short. And I think it was cut short because there was still something that needed to be integrated in terms of your own personal sense of empowerment here. And so perhaps when you were wanting to go on a particular journey before, there was something you really wanted to experience here. There was a vision you had, a dream you had. It was coming from the understanding of a part of you that at that point was fractured, a part of you that had not experienced that point of integration. And so it's almost like the old manifestation of a dream that fell short. It now needs to be really released because the vision of that is transforming, and in a way that's going to carry you forward into a new cycle that has you really stepping into a sense of the recognition of personal empowerment that you hold, this ability to transform that's now based on an understanding of what has been mended. And that creates quite a different outcome for the road ahead, as you'll soon see. But it's like the old vision is what needs to be shed here, because that could never live up to the potential of what you're truly meant to step into now. This is that like reconfiguration of a dream that could only be birthed through your resilience. But as you step into this now, it's not the effort it was. The strength's already been gained. So it's not that you need more resilience to head down this road. You know, you think of making those wishes on the dandelion seed heads, and it's just this soft, beautiful, you know, release that happens here. And I feel like that's what this is. Soften your approach, soften your grip around the old sense of what would be the fulfillment of your dream, because something comes in a much gentler way at this time. You're going to start to see this weave into your life. This is really about allowing the dream to go through a transformation, to be open to the dream manifesting in a different way than you initially saw it, not being so attached to the old perspective or the old desire for fulfillment that was actually more based from a desire to have instant gratification, or just to have something nailed down, to have proof that this is for you. It's like you had to almost feel a sense of the dream slipping away to understand the true value of it, to really understand that what is for you is never taken from you. There's something about that. So there really is something here about dropping fear around letting go, dropping fear around having to control, embracing radical shift, because it's the thing that actually carries that seed of potential you set in motion long ago onto your path in such a gentle, effortless way. Ooh, beautiful energy. What must be shed here? Okay. You see, the water is coming in to merge with the fire to bring about the balance. This is the cauldron of Dagda. There's something that has already been healed, coming in with the blessings of Venus here. There's harmony here. You had your time dancing with the devil and you overcame those ties that bind. You freed yourself from the oppression of what was unconscious. That's what the devil lights up with the torch. The devil lights that up for you and says, the only thing holding you back is what you're refusing to see about yourself. But now that you see it, you hold a certain treasure that makes a dream possible. There's a way you can bring it into balance quite harmoniously. It weaves beauty into your world. You see, there's a dream that's coming in here. It's starting now with this new moon. It's a direct result of the work you have done. It's coming to fruition. So there's something about this, about really noticing over these next 72 hours signs that your dream, what you set on the winds, what you seeded there, something has pollinated. It's sprouting up all around you. There's tangible evidence coming through here. Okay, this is really beautiful energy. One more. Let's check out this water that's coming in, okay? The water is what we need to ward the path ahead. It wards the path because with the water, we trust the flow. With the water, we trust our intuition. With the water, we allow ourselves to move into that quality of mutability. We allow ourselves to be tumbled in the current of change, to allow the jagged places within us to be softened, to experience that polishing. It's the very thing that strengthens us as we step into this new portal of transformation, really anchoring our dream. There's a compass here too, coming in with this dreamy energy. So see, there's like something here that's really giving you the directions you need, the way to navigate this passage so you can root this dream. And it is coming in with that Hierophant energy here. So, you know, that's one of the roles that Hecate plays. She makes your dreams possible. You can ask for her assistance. How can I pull this through? How can I root this? How can I make this manifest? And she will help you gather the keys and the coordinates you need to get you out of those crossroads that kind of keep you in holding patterns so you can find passage into that next layer of perception of what's possible for you, these doorways of transformation. Wisdom. You see? You'll be wise to it by the time we arrive at that blue moon. You already hold the magic of the unicorn whose horn does transform the waters. So you may have been in very turbulent waters of transformation, but now the clarity is coming through. You're surfacing from the darkest depths, and down there you recovered some sunken treasure. There's something you already hold here. And so as you step into that full moon energy, you're going to do so wisely because you know what will strengthen the growth of the path ahead. You know what to water. You know where the current is carrying you, and you give yourself over to it. You trust your intuition, and you trust the tangible proof that is showing up that this dream is coming to fruition. There's a yes here. You're getting the keys. You're getting the keys to pass on through up into the ascension phase. And you're opening up this pathway that is going to be your teacher. Really potent. Okay, let me do a cut the deck here. I kind of just want to keep it as this. See any further guidance. Anything we need to be aware of over the next 72 hours, but also as we move through this lunar cycle in the lead up to that blue moon. Anything else that we need to be aware of here? All I know is this is an initiatory gateway where you are stepping into a leadership role in your life. You are taking the lead. You are not meant to follow. And along the way, community gathers with you. And you're going to ride that energy all the way up to the North Node. Something is very surprising here. So I do feel like there's something coming in, maybe as you're out and about in your community, maybe new people coming in, transformation happening in people that you are connecting with. Maybe there's a shared experience you're going through here too. You shared an experience with a group of people. You've all gone through something very transformational here. And now it's like you're coming back together to tell the tale, and the road you're forging forward is something very different than it was initially anticipated to be. But whatever it is, it brings teachings. It also brings a lot of helpful influences here. 33 coming in as a number of synchronicity. There's assistance here, and allies here. And it looks like you're stepping out of the crossroads together. You're weaving a beautiful dream into being here. Something now becomes possible. The sense of directions there. Do look for this. Really beautiful, beautiful energy. All right. Godspeed.